World Sonics titles in Japan. For the New Zealand under-20s player, just 21 years of age. This is Kurt Baker. So New Zealand gets a restart. Out on the full, so back they come to halfway for the free kick. Advantage Fiji. This is just what Ben Ryan would have hoped for. Oh, not that though. Oh, I thought he'd lost it. Brilliant chasing from Osea Kolinisau, the captain. What a try that was.
The captain courageous. He sprinted up to the halfway mark because he knew that he had the penalty. It wasn't the conventional tap because it went forward, but it bounced up. He kicked again over the head of the sweeper, controlled it beautifully. Try time for Fiji.
What did Ben Ryan say? One more score and they'll be chasing the game.
There.
I thought he touched it, but no. And he's caught New Zealand napping here. Sprinting for the line. Kolinisau, a captain's try.
That is not easy to do. 109 tries, most points this season. 109 points it is, rather. We know how many tries he has scored. His fourth here in Dubai, 75 to his name.
Yeah, he came into this tournament on the back of being the top point scorer after the Gold Coast tournament in Australia in October. New Zealand chasing the game, fifth on the Gold Coast, third here. Last year, 6 times Dubai champions, chasing the game now, 2 scores down, but they will get the penalty here.
You've got to get physical against Fiji. If you're passive, if you're just prepared to move the ball around, you're playing into their hands. You've got to get physical with them. You've got to take them on and commit them to the ball.
To DJ Forbes on the angle. Gets support from Declan O'Donnell. Get out of my way, he says to Osea Kolinisau. It's great to see how Fiji are contesting the breakdown, although they're not getting the rub of the green every time, perhaps.
A little bit of ill discipline too. That's where they start to lose their discipline, is because when you're physical against them, they get aggressive and they have moments of madness.
Well, that's an interesting statistic, isn't it? New Zealand have been given the ball away 9 times to Fiji's 6. And they conjure up a score here. Declan O'Donnell charges downfield, takes on the Fijian defence. That's Sam Dixon, the long floated pass into midfield. Kurt Baker unceremoniously dumped. Lovely footwork here from Declan O'Donnell. We've seen that footwork before on the Sams circuit. Another recalled player. DJ Forbes once again on with play here. Kurt Baker, New Zealand wanting to strike back, but Fiji have it once more. New Zealand lose possession and the strike runners are lining up here. Kolinisau once again, and this is Apisalome, Wankatambo, Katonimbao on to Jerry Tuai. There he is, a little magician, but he needs some big guys to come and help him out here. That was Semi Kunatani. Again, it's the kick through. Was the player impeded? Was Ngoro impeded? No, he wasn't. So play on, says referee van der Westhuizen. And New Zealand back on their own try line. A few seconds ago, they were knocking on the door down the other end of the park. It's a long way down. Sam Dixon, Mickelson, what can he do? So often the inspiration for New Zealand, turning on his axis, and away he goes up to halfway. So difficult to pull to ground. But Fiji have done well.
Brilliant passage of play there, both sides. That was exhausting. And the end-to-end stuff now. Kaku and a few more changes come on, but the crucial turnover for New Zealand inside the 22 of Fiji really cost them just when they were starting to get some momentum as well.
I see some of the New Zealand players blowing hard. It was a tough semi-final against South Africa. It was a very physical encounter. And it suggests that the final itself will be equally bruising. Australia and South Africa.
Uncharacteristic mistakes as well, when you don't often see that man on screen, Tim Mickelson, lose the ball in contact like he did. And that's just the pressure that Fiji are putting on them.
Commentators taking off for DJ Forbes, Declan O'Donnell and Tim Mickelson. 2 minutes 40 seconds. Fiji lead New Zealand 19-5. Fiji aiming to stay on top of the series table, and again it's that little speculative kick downfield. The bounce is not kind for New Zealand, but this is the replacement. Murphy Taramai, again spilt ball, snapped up by Sam Baka. Gillis Kaka is on for New Zealand as well. Grappling with him is Vatemwa Ravuvu. Fiji won it.
Yes, they have, through Kuratani staying on his feet.
And Rocco is on now for Fiji. Enigmatic in the Sonny Rocco. And this is Jasad Verimalua, just tipped up there by Sam Dixon. But Fiji come again down the narrow side through that 5-metre corridor on the far side. Rocco into the wide open spaces. Fiji on song here. Kolinisau. He's got support from Nasila Sila.
End-to-end stuff. That's how sevens should be played. New Zealand have possession, but they're going to have to go 78 metres to score, and they're going to have to do it within the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, Ben Ryan wanting to keep his men on their toes here. He's won the Dubai title with England. He's won with Fiji. Barking the instructions as he waits perhaps to bring on reinforcements, but New Zealand have it. Just over a minute remaining, and New Zealand need 3 scores to win this one. Highly unlikely, but you never know. That's Ambrose Curtis. It's been a brilliant performance from the Fiji, and this could well be it. Nasoni Rocco cuts back inside. The final pass to number 7, Vatemwa Ravuvu. And that seals the 3rd place for Fiji, which should mean that they stay on top of the HSBC World Series after 2 tournaments. Gold Coast, where they were the winners, and here in Dubai.
Here's the turnover, and look at that. Kolinisau, the captain, he got it and he stole it. It came back to Rocco, and then a lovely infield pass there to Lavovo. Put it beyond doubt. Fiji disappointed to not be in the cup, but they've come back in the 3rd and 4th place. And they will leave with valuable points.
Well, they were challenged by Ben Ryan prior to the beginning of the season to aim at a target of 150 points over the season. They're still on target despite a 3rd place finish here, finishing 3rd or better in all the tournaments, and they will be at the Olympic Games in Rio in 2016, and I can bet you $1 Willie, that many of these supporters will be in Rio as well, adding to the carnival atmosphere. 26-5, and we've reached full time here in the 3rd and 4th of playoff. New Zealand still battling away. They were milled by South Africa in the semi-final. Just the 1 try here which gave them some hope. But Fiji have regrouped following their narrow loss after extra time to Australia. Will New Zealand get the final word? Sam Baka bundled to the ground. Fiji not back the mandatory 10 metres. We're into referee time here. It's all over. Fiji have claimed this one.
Yeah, they're playing for pride though. They want to make sure they can score another try in New Zealand.
And New Zealand, well, they finished 5th on the Gold Coast. They're going to finish 4th here in Dubai. They've secured some valuable points which should elevate them to the top 4. Whether they'll be 3rd or 4th depends on how Australia fare in the final yet to come, and that promises to be yet another corker of a match. But New Zealand will have the final word through Ambrose Curtis round another post.
Too little, too late for New Zealand. The psychological advantage of actually finishing the game stronger than Fiji, but on the scoreboard it still shows that they were defeated by 16 points. Here's the final pass from Sherwin Stowers. They had the players out there. They were just beaten up early in this match and they never recovered.
conversion is successful, and Fiji will march on to the Gold Coast to Port Elizabeth.